Welcome back to Gentleman's Corner, guys. My name is David. Today I have another Splendid Saturday video for you. But before we get into today's topic, I just wanted to kind of give you a quick update on the channel. Right now, I'm smoking a little bit of Peter Stokkebye's Nougat tobacco, which I got through a order from Pipes and Cigars a couple of months ago, and I'm finally getting around to reviewing it. This is my second bowl of it, which I'm smoking in my mini church warden. I found out through reading a few online forums, the veracity of which I cannot say, that Stokkebye Nougat was the tobacco used during the filming of the Lord of the Rings series. So I thought I would give it a shot and see how it goes. And I've got a Ranger pipe that I'm gonna see if I can use it during the review, which we'll be posting later this week or possibly Saturday, November 16th. And it just depends on when I have time to actually do the review. We're starting to get into winter, and so I'm losing the daylight at about 5:30 every day. And it'll just get worse as we get into December. So but that'll be posting later this week. Channel update, we are at 660 subscribers, which is phenomenal. I love seeing growth. And then future reviews, I've got a couple of cigars that I'm going to be reviewing along with an order that'll be coming in a couple of weeks from smokingpipes.com with some of the new Peterson Dunhill blends from STG. So I'm very excited about that. I was going to do an original run of the Dunhill branded Dunhill blends from STG, and then they went out of production. So I didn't get to do a run when they were the Dunhill blends, but now that they've been resurrected under the Peterson moniker, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. So be looking for those reviews coming in the next several weeks. The cigar review is going to be, shoot, what have I got lined up? I know there is the Rocky Patel Vintage 2003, which has a Cameroon wrapper, and oh gosh, what was the other one? I just blanked out on it. I'll think of it like halfway through the review. Anyway, so getting on to today's topic, which is tobacco use and health insurance. So before I get into the topic of why I'm talking about it, I need to kind of give you some background information that has led to this discussion. So last week during Splendid Saturday, I informed everybody here on the channel that after 5 months of looking for work, I was still out of work. I was doing some temporary contract basis labor for my dad. Somebody asked last week if I was an attorney or a paralegal. I am an attorney. And as I'd said, I left my firm under bad circumstances. And so, you know, it was kind of tough getting back into the workforce. And I was dealing with some depression. Anyway, I had been interviewing to be a member of my city's city attorney office, and I recently got the rejection letter for that position. However, I'm not too torn up. After kind of feeling our way through it and deciding that we liked the arrangement, I've accepted a full-time position with my dad's firm. And so I am finally back working full-time, which is phenomenal. I feel great. I like the position. I like the work I'm doing. So I'm not too torn up about it. So I'm very, very excited. But where the topic for today's video comes from is when, you know, like any time that you join a new firm or a new office, if they offer health insurance, you know, you have to fill out the application for issuance of health benefits. Well, I started filling out the application, and I got to the part on the first page where it asks whether or not you use tobacco. And we both know what the answer to that is. We all know, right? We all know what the answer to that is. So, I was faced with a little bit of a conundrum because, although I do use tobacco, not infrequently, but yeah, not frequently either, I am technically a user. However, my dad does not know that. In fact, nobody in my family, on my side of the family, knows. My in-laws do, but my other side of my family does not. It's a very hot button issue in our family, just due to some family history. So, I was kind of in a conundrum of, what do I do here? Do I say that I'm not, even though I am? Or do I fess up to my dad, who's just hired me out of the goodness of his heart? And I wasn't really sure what to do, so I kind of said, you know what, I'm going to move on to the next question, and I'm going to come back to it, and I'll deal with that moral dilemma when it comes to it. So on the next page, I get to it, and there's a blurb of text about that long, in 10-point, 8-point font, something like that. And being a lawyer, I read everything. So I took a look at it, and the description was basically, we define tobacco user as anybody who uses a tobacco product more than 4 times per week. And I just kind of leaned back and I was just like, more than 4 times a week? And it didn't quite sit right either, because I was kind of like, you either are or you're not. You know, it's kind of a yes or no question. You are or you're not. You know, it's not like, oh, well, I am, but I only use it, 2 times a week. And so I'm technically not a user. So technically, according to their terms and conditions, I did not have to fib. I am technically not a user by their own definition. So I was able to strike no and not have to deal with that conversation with my dad. But what it did was it got me thinking about this kind of conundrum of like, are you or are you not a tobacco user? And I thought this would be a great discussion topic for the comments section in one of my videos, because everybody seems to have a different opinion on this. What constitutes a regular user? Is it somebody who smokes once a week? Is it someone who smokes once a month? Is it someone who just does it routinely no matter the interval between uses? What is it? So I just kind of found that an interesting conundrum of what is a tobacco user? And I haven't really done any kind of research into it to find out what legally describes a tobacco user. Normally I would have done something like that. But it just didn't really seem to matter enough to me at the time. So it was just kind of a weird question in my head. So my opinion on it is, depending on your level of frequency, there is a line where you can draw, you are not a user or you are a user. People who smoke 1 to 2 times a year socially, not users, okay, because they don't make it a habit, right? People who maybe smoke once a week are users. I think you start blurring the line at when you get into time measurements of month-long intervals. If you are 1 to 2 months between smokes, then you're probably, I don't know. It kind of goes back and forth, because it's like, are you a user or are you not? And to me, it's fact specific, because if you're doing it socially, but you wouldn't do it otherwise, I don't believe that you are a smoker, okay? You partake in smoking, but you are not a smoker, because you wouldn't do it normally. Now, if you set out time every month to go and have a smoke, and you keep smoking materials at your home or at your office or at your local lounge, then I would say, yes, you are a tobacco user, despite the fact that you do so infrequently, because you make a point of doing it on your own time and you schedule time for it. Does that make sense? So I just kind of got into this whole, like, what is a tobacco user and what constitutes it? But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below as to what do you think constitutes a tobacco user? And have you encountered this question or this definition when applying for health insurance? I think it lends more evidence to the argument that we've been having on this channel and in this community for a number of years, which is smoking in moderation is not as bad as everybody says. Now let me qualify that. Smoking pipes and cigars in moderation is not as bad as cigarettes. Okay? That's my qualification on that definition. Because cigarettes are highly addictive. Okay? They're designed to get you hooked. Right? I know plenty of cigarette smokers who cannot go more than a few hours without a cigarette. Me, on the other hand, this is my first smoke since last Saturday when I posted my last update. So it has been over a week since I've had a smoke, and I have had no cravings, no desires, no insatiable need to come out and smoke. I do so because I enjoy it, not because I have to do it. I don't need it to function. And that's the difference between pipe smokers and cigarette smokers. I don't need this to function. They do. Because they have ingrained it in their physiology that they need nicotine in order for them to function properly, right? And so I do think that there is a level of cutoff when it comes to detrimental health impacts, and apparently health insurance companies seem to think so too, that there is definitely, a cutoff point of, if you smoke less than 4 times a week, you're probably good. Now, to qualify that, I think what they're talking about is, if you have 4 cigarettes or 4 cigars or 4 pipes. So they would count that as, if you smoked 4 in a day, that would be 4 times in a week. As opposed to saying, you smoke 4 days a week and you could smoke a pack a day 4 days a week, or 3 days a week and still not meet the definition. I don't think that's what they intended. So, but I thought it was kind of an interesting definition, and it leads to a more interesting discussion about how you report tobacco use when you're applying for health insurance and how health insurance companies seem to treat tobacco use. So, interesting topic. If you've got any thoughts on it, please leave it in the comments section below. That's really all I've got for you today. Like I said, be looking out for the Peter Stokkebye Nougat review coming up later on this week or possibly Saturday, just depending on when I can get it filmed. And be looking for reviews in the future. Now that I'm working again full-time, they'll probably begin falling more on the weekends, kind of back to that routine. But I think I should be able to post a little bit more consistently. So, other than that, guys, I hope you have enjoyed... Oh, before I forget, if you have suggestions for pipe tobaccos that you think I should be reviewing, leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what your all suggestions are. As I'm getting back into this, I'm still trying to find content. So, I don't have the luxury of being able to be browsing all day on tobacco sites. So, if you've got a favorite blend that you want me to review, leave it in the comment section below, or send it to me on Instagram or Twitter. So, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you have, please hit like. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please hit subscribe. And please do hit the notification button next to the subscribe button. It looks like a little bell, and it will send you a notification anytime I upload a new video. If you'd like to connect with me on other social media, and I highly suggest that you do, you can find the links to my Instagram and Twitter in the description box below this video. Other than that, guys, this has been a splendid Saturday here on Gentleman's Corner. I hope you're having a splendid Saturday wherever you are and whenever you're watching this. And other than that, have a good one.